What's going on, everybody? It's Quickfire. This is Live Under Fire Gaming News. This time, I brought a cameraman. If you're new here, welcome. We go over gaming news, gaming reviews, and overall thoughts on the gaming industry, and we do it live under fire. We're playing the most hectic games. Mr. Cameraman, can you put us next to that tree over there? Thank you. Now, folks, our first story comes today from Tom Henderson over at Insider Gaming. He has reported that Call of Duty is not worried at all about Battlefield 6 in the slightest. Call of Duty thinks that it will still remain profitable, annually released over the years to come, no matter what Battlefield does. They say, quote unquote, it's too big to fail. And honestly, this says a lot. It says that they're not worried about their competition, aka Battlefield, and they're not stressing about returning to the golden era of Call of Duty. Now, if it's one thing that I've learned playing the Battlefield 6 beta, it's shown me that, that is the intended experience. The intended experience being Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4-like. This is a problem that both Battlefield and Call of Duty have faced in the past in terms of intention versus experimentation. Now, Mr. Cameraman, can you please get up and rolling? We don't want to sit here too long dilly-dallying. Thank you. Now, experimentation versus intention. Both Call of Duty and Battlefield have succumbed to this, for better or for worse. You look at 2042. It was much more experimentation and... Whoa, Mr. Cameraman, watch out for those shots ahead of you. But 2042 was much more experimental than it was intentional. You have 128 players game mode, Hazard Zone full extraction shooter mode, barely any destructible environments. In fact, it was very surface level destruction, and it was some of the worst destruction ever, in my opinion. And can't even forget about specialists. You had specialists, which basically turned the game into a hero shooter, and it was very much an experiment over an intent on being a good Battlefield game, which is partly the reason why I think it fell flat. And on the contrast, you have Battlefield 6 beta, which is Battlefield 3 and 4 like, and it has true destruction, it has classes. Oh, Mr. Cameron, there's someone. He dead? He's dead. Okay, get out of here. Quickly. Folks, as I was saying, you can tell that Battlefield 6 is much more intention over experimentation. That is, it's closer to the intended experience. And it looks like it's been going good across the board. I mean, the numbers are saying that it's one of the highest betas, and it's reached some of the highest player counts on Steam, even surpassing some of Call of Duty's titles as of the moment it was out over the weekend. I think Call of Duty really needs to pay attention to experimentation versus intention, like Battlefield has been, because in the next week is Call of Duty's game event at Gamescom, where they reveal more footage of Black Ops 7. And Call of Duty is one game that has also succumbed to experimentation. I think for a lot of fans, if you ask the average Call of Duty fan, I think they would say that the golden era of Call of Duty was COD 4 to Black Ops 2. That is the intended experience of Call of Duty. And you look past the golden era, you get things like experimentation. You see Call of Duty trying to fiddle around with different ideas than the game's core formula. Games like Advanced Warfare, Infinite Warfare, jetpacks, and then you got into specialists with Black Ops 4, and even started dipping into Battle Royale. And Call of Duty starts to follow trends and going away from their overall intended good experience. Jump this cameraman, kill him. Run. And then it starts to come back around. The intended experience. They start to build it back with games like Modern Warfare. Whoa! Okay, they start to harken back, right, after those flops and start to go back to intention. And you start seeing that in 2019, where Modern Warfare 2019 came out, and even after that, Cold War came out. And this was back when Call of Duty also switched to their new game engine. But even then, Call of Duty could not help themselves and focus on trends like Fortnite. For example, they were even still making Battle Royale games, Battle Passes, seasonal content ingrained with new Battle Pass seasons. And they even stemmed away from realistic operator skins to Nicki Minaj collabs and Beavis and Butthead skins like they have now. So it's also important to mention that when the next Call of Duty gets revealed, there's two things that I personally am going to be looking for. Number one, how experimental the Call of Duty looks, and how intentional to the intended experience the game looks. Because for Battlefield 6, I can comfortably say I see more of an intended experience than I do an experimental one. I see more Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, the golden era of Battlefield, than I do see the game 2042 or even Battlefield 5 at launch. Oops. And I think Call of Duty's intended experience is ultimately, number one, it's a good campaign. Number two, it's a good multiplayer. And number three, a good co-op experience. For example, For Infinity Ward, it might be the Spec Ops mode. For Treyarch, it'll be the zombies. And, you know, look at MW2, one of the best campaigns of Call of Duty. It had one of the best multiplayers of Call of Duty. Even going to MW3's Survival, it was amazing. And Treyarch's Black Ops 1 and 2, great campaigns, great multiplayers, and great co-op modes. And that was it. No battle royales, no cartoon skins, no battle passes, no $40 skins, stickers, emotes, gestures, what have you. Just a bunch of camos, maybe $2, $3 a piece, or even a bundle. And it was just a game designed to deliver an intended experience. And I'll say this, even for Battlefield 6 as well, even though this beta feels right, the full game will still have a battle royale. It's still going to have battle passes and skins, so the challenge is still there for both games, and that is to stay intentional to the intended experience. Because as we've seen over the years, neither Battlefield nor Call of Duty are at their best. Oh, Mr. Cameron, there's someone. So neither games are at their best when they're experimenting for the sake of trends. They're only great when they stick to the intended experience. Of course, for Battlefield it's 3, 4, and for Call of Duty it's, yeah, what have you, Modern Warfare 2 and 3 and Black Ops 1 and 2, right? And we've extracted. Good stuff, Mr. Cameraman. That is what I'm talking about right there. That. Keep doing that. And we got the task done. Let's go. Complete. I'm a Pinkerton. Wow. That's the thanks I get. I get called I basically got called a rat because Pinkertons are from Red Dead Redemption 2. And in Red Dead Redemption 2, they are the cops. And you're Arthur Morgan. And you get ratted out by the Pinkertons. So you just called me a rat. Thank you very much. Have a great day. What else we got? Secure flash drives. Hand over flash drives. Okay. What's the reward? What did I get for doing all that? Ooh, wow, we got a press shirt. Okay. Well, look at that, folks. For doing the Live Under Fire gaming news, we get our own press shirt here. What is this game trying to tell us? Is this game trying to tell us something? I don't know. But anyways, folks, that was Live Under Fire gaming news. Hope you enjoyed. Leave a like if you enjoyed, a dislike if you didn't enjoy it, and a constructive criticism comment. Let me know how I can better the videos for you guys. Anyways, folks, that was Quickfire. Live Under Fire game news. Thanks for watching.